Hello everyone and welcome once again to another commentary video. This time we are gonna cover this match that happened in 1v1 in Marne. It's not, but it really seems like me, a mini version of 1v1 Marengo. As you can see, properties are isolated on the corners, the middle has a lot of mountains, and yeah, it looks similar to me. But the more I think about it, the less it looks like the Marne map. It has been made by the same map maker, a Chinese map maker, WYJ, I believe it's his name, and that might be the reason why it looks very similar. Let's talk about the players, because this was not played on Global League. This was a training match, a sparring match, whatever you're gonna call it. I'm not gonna say who suggested me to cover this match. You will have to guess, guys. It's Ira Firehead 1100 ELO against Rosa Roxy 1300s, but this is the current right now ELO of them. This match was played a few months ago, so they might be much closer back then. It's very interesting because I have not played on this map, so I'm really curious how it goes. And let's talk about the matchup, because the matchup is a Clásico. As I don't know if you are into football, guys. I'm not, but I am Spanish, so I know about the Real Madrid against Football Club Barcelona. So it's, yeah, the Clásico. You will know what I mean if you are into football, but I don't expect you to be into football if you are watching this Advanced Wars replay commentary. But anyways, it's the most iconic, if not one of the most iconic matchups in Advanced Wars via web, other against Jake. You cannot go wrong with them in tier 4. In Fog, yes, might be really good as well, but yeah, they choose these two CEOs. But I don't think I have any more to comment about before jumping into the video, so let's see how it goes, guys. Alright, guys, and this time I remember the face direction of the units. It was the first thing I did. I normally remember most of the time, but whenever I record a second time the match because I didn't like it, I sometimes forget to double check again. Anyways, both players are using the neutral property, and the very next thing he's doing is capturing the airport. He could have captured the airport one day earlier, I believe, with this infantry here, but this infantry has to go into this area to capture cities before the recon aggression comes, because I believe there's gonna be a recon aggression. As you can see, there is a very clear path into this area with a recon, not very clear, but quite clear with a lot of roads, which is gonna make the recon slightly faster than a tank. Also because it's gonna be slightly faster, and I believe this recon is gonna try to harass infantry into this isolated area. And I do believe, as well as Marengo, this is a map where helicopter opening is gonna be very strong. Although in Marengo there is a big variety of openings you can do. You cannot only go with a helicopter there. So yeah, we see a helicopter on this map. I have picked a little bit how the map evolved before doing the commentary, but I didn't fully check, so don't worry about it, guys. And Ashes is capturing the com tower, and I think it's completely fine to do it now. I might, if it was me, I could have skipped, maybe. If you go here, no, because this city you wanted to capture with this one, because it's a chain, and this city is too far, so you can capture it with this one anyways. So I think it's completely fine to capture the com tower, and you have the com tower ready for your recon to start harassing. And and we see a tank day 5 by Ashes, and the T-copter by area is gonna do some boosting. This was not a very good boosting, but now this infantry is gonna jump into it, and now it's gonna be able to go into this area and get control of it much more faster. And as you can see, Ashes has a really hard time to go into this area as well as area into this area. So we can see which side is going to be controlled by each player. I mean, we cannot see it, but we can try to predict it. And let's see, because right now Ashes has the vehicle superiority. T-copter openings can be very profitable, but can be also very greedy, and if you get punished, you can fall really behind because you have no answer to a recon aggression. Recons really counter hard transport openings, because if you will a transport, you are normally delaying your tank, and if you are delaying your tank, you are basically super vulnerable and super exposed to a recon aggression. And as you can see, this recon is gonna attack an infantry on planes from a city, so this recon not only did a lot of damage, but it minimized its chip damage, so now it can do another interrupt or whatever, and it might not even fall to 9 HP, which is very valuable because it's gonna save it from getting one hit KO if Yake is not attacking from planes. And also it's giving a lot of intel. As you can see, basically it tells Ira that it tells Ashes that Ira has not yet the com tower. It tells that Ira is trying to capture these properties, but now this infantry will have to hide in this forest, and then by that time that tries to capture this recon will have vision of the city, and infantry will come to stop this from happening. So it's going to be very valuable. But let's see how the transport is going to be used. I do believe you could do something else with the transport, but let's see, because we see double tank day 7 by Ira. He had to wheel vehicles this turn, and he opted to wheel an early artillery, which it makes sense to wheel early artillery because if you are planning to do some plays with artillery and you have some game plan, artillery will go first, and then the tank will catch up to it. But I rather will tank first and then the artillery, or tank and recon first. But if you are at this point you don't want to wheel how you call it, a recon to defend from a recon, you want to wheel a tank. So I think it's fair to wheel the artillery. At this point you had a very slow opening, so you might as well keep on that how you call it, dynamic. But you can see this recon is barely on range to discover this base from knowing what it's wielding, and it's quite safe because even though it has harassed 2 infantries, those 2 infantries were very low HP, so it didn't do very much chip damage, and you are in 2 range. 2 turn range of this base from a tank, but even if the tank attacks from the planes, I don't think it's a roll because of the very low HP that the infantry had. So unless you want to use infantry to finish off that recon, I don't think it's a roll, a very likely roll. But anyways, we see more boosties by Ira here. And yeah, now this recon aggression has been put to an end, but now it can simply it doesn't see the tank, but it knows that I don't agree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think the tank should be here, because you are losing 2 movement for being hidden, and I don't see the point of doing that, because if you put it here, then you will be able to try to go here as early as possible, as well as Aces is doing on his side. So I mean, you keep your tank hidden, but it was to be expected, right? But it's not a terrible choice. Anyways, both players are using the transport copter now, but Aces did it much more later, and now he is doing this harassment, which is, it might not seem that valuable, but if you think about it, now this infantry is not going to be able to capture in 2 days, and on top of that you are making Haida pay 1k essentially for it, so that's quite good. And this corner is taken care by Aces. I do believe that Aces is playing weak side on this area, and he's not planning to go any deeper. But let's see how it goes. As you can see, a weakened infantry is still completely fine to gain vision. And we see an interrupt, and is guaranteed to 2-hit KO, because Jake has the com tower and it's surrounded by planes. So yeah, this was completely guaranteed, but it's covered by a tank and another infantry, so you can always get 2 shots, and it's gonna be more valuable for Aces than area. And now this recon is trapped also, by the way, but this recon did a lot of work. It paid for itself, so even losing that recon is gonna be completely fine. Also, both players are building quite a lot of mechs. If you have already the T-copter, it's completely fine to build the mechs. The problem with mechs is they are very hard to use, so you have to be careful and you have to have a plan with them, because mechs are basically artillery that shoots like a tank. It has 3 range because they move 2 and they have one range. And the good thing, they can be on mountains and they can also capture, but the capture is not, you don't want to capture with mechs. Not only you cannot yoink up, but yeah, let's see, because a preemptive anti-air, very smart by Aces. I really like it, but I'm worrying about this front, because he either withdraws from this area, and he even doesn't have vision. This is a perfect example of the strength of 2-hit KO in fog, because now you cannot answer to this attack as if it was a standard. As you can see, yes, you can get vision with this infantry and then attack with the tank, but now it's going to be 1 for 1 instead of 2 hits for 1. Let's see, because now yeah, this recon, I mean, what you can do to make this recon as valuable as possible, I would probably accept the fact that this recon is dead, and I will probably harass this infantry, so I do as much as damage as possible while also revealing what is coming from here. But if I put it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I just stay 1 tile away from revealing that base, but there is no other infantry to harass. Yeah, so I could just harass this infantry from the shoals. Yeah, I could do that, but let's see what Asia does, because right now he has already this mech on place, and other mechs are very strong, because mechs are quite slow, but if you combine them with the day-to-day bonus of other day-to-day bonus power of other, you are gonna be quite getting more shoots that you normally do. And let's see. I can see that Aces opted to play it very safe, and instead of attacking this from the souls, he opted to attack this infantry, which I don't like. I think it could have been more valuable to do it from souls, basically to do more damage, and instead of putting one infantry to 7 HP, because now the Reapers are not that important, they are not gonna make a difference. You rather get tempo, and tempo is basically having a slightly weaker infantry than 7 HP. But anyways, I'm just being picky there, I think. But sometimes being picky is the difference between having a slight edge or not. And also, I think a very important detail for that is that you are making now this tank sit on a city very comfortably. I mean, it's not gonna matter because you have nothing to counter that tank back, but if you have a tank prepared to counter that recon, which I think it's not very safe to do so, in the sense that you are getting too closer to Hydra base, I think you are forcing your opponent to attack from lighter terrain is very valuable as well. But anyways, the recon gets one shot and it doesn't get too much more intel. At least now we know that there is a tank here. We don't know about the artillery, but this tank is not gonna get attacked. Like, even if you had 2 tanks, you have no power, you don't want to attack into this, because there is at least another vehicle coming from this base. But I do think that that this is very weird, because Ida is being very aggressive into this area, which is normally his weak side. As you can see, I mean, weak side? I think this is the weak side of Ira. Looking at yeah, this is the strong side of Ira. I didn't say anything. I was just no. This don't mind me, guys. And a second artillery and another mech. I don't know if I like it. The second artillery, to be honest. Yes, you are Jake. Yes. No. I don't like the second artillery. I mean, you have not enough for a second tank, right? But I think you would love a recon here, because if you want to fight here, what is lacking by Ira here is some friendly mountain to control, to get vision of your opponent. So I could replace this artillery for a recon. And also, I was thinking of wielding the mech here and the recon here. Yeah, if you wield the mech here and put the transport copter here, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put the mech here, and you control this area, or maybe on the forest. Instead, if you put it here, the mech is gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you don't reach this forest if you build the mech from here. And I think this forest is very nice for a mech sitting, covering all the units around this area. But anyways, because right now Area doesn't still know where Aces is going hard. And I really like this boost chain of mechs. And nothing too crazy, more boosties. This artillery nicely placed, and there is no way that Ira knows about this artillery unless you place a tank in range of that artillery, because the vision range of tank is the same as the range of artillery. So that's why you need recons against artillery. You need to spot those artillery before getting hit by them. And yeah, this recon would have been very helpful. Let's see. I think Aces is doing the mistake of going hard on this area. Yes, he's doing work with the transport copter and mechs, but he is forcing it too much, in my opinion. I think he should be at least be aggressive here, and right here he can bring one artillery, maybe one or two mechs, and hold these properties if you really want it. But I think Aces needs to go aggressive here, basically because of the two bases reinforcing this line. But anyways, this is very weird because right now red player is getting control of this city, and as you can see, this city is super far away from the bases of area, so I would be really scared to try to capture this. I mean, you only have one space from being interrupted from, but still. And also, this is not an area a Jake would like to fight on, as you can see. So, yeah, as Jake, you have limited choices to fight on. I guess, giving a second thought, Jake is not as good on this map. And I don't know about this. I don't know about this engagement with the 7 HP, to be honest, because now this 3 HP infantry can retreat, and then you simply kill everything that was in place. See, you can kill this forest one, you can kill, you are gonna massacre Aire because he's getting overly aggressive with infantry. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's getting overly aggressive. He's not getting too many kills, and on the counter-attack, there are gonna be dying at least 3 or 4 infantries, depending on what are the choices by Aces. And Jake either likes to be aggressive in the early game, as you can see, one shot. I do think it's a one shot if it's on, if you have a com tower and it's on roads. Then, oh my god, why did you put your tank there? Come on, you knew about this. I mean, I think it's a roll, but still you have 1 HP. You have this. No way this infantry holds. Yes, you are covering this tank here, but it was an unnecessary hit, in my opinion. And look, all this infantry getting slaughtered. And this, like, this tank, yes, it's gonna get killed by the artillery, but if you opt to attack the tank with your tanks, you are gonna get countered by the swarm of mechs here. Too many mechs for my liking, but still completely fine. A bit justified because you are other, you have transport copter, but still, I think too many for my taste. I'm not a mech hater, but this artillery also, I really like it because it's hidden behind a, how you call it, mountain. It's locking this property away from Aira, but at the end of the day, you are playing hard in your weak side, which you have. I mean, you can reinforce this side with mechs, and you can bring vehicles from this one and copters from this one, and use this lonely base to reinforce this area. So I think that can be a plan that might work to make this weak side your strong side, but I don't know about the viability of that. Aces really needs to. I could not get a tank here. I could get a recon. Because you can tell that Airo is getting aggressive here, so you might expect more vehicles into this area. That means Airo has not that much here, and you need vision to know that. If you expect only infantry, that's also another reason. So first get the recon, and if you see something else that the recon can deal with, then you will the tank. but we see a tank instead, and now Aces is not reinforcing the area where he's fighting hard for. So I think this is another mistake. He's splitting his armies. This is really easy to see on the replay, guys. This is harder to do on the when you are on their shoes, you know, guys, because it's not only going death ball win. There is much more to it. Death ball into win is it might seem very simple, but you can play around it. Also, I didn't mention the income, but because of the terrible state of this front, Aire is slightly ahead, but just by 1k. But as you can see right now, this sneaky infantry is covering this cap, so now this is gonna be harder to get, and this city also is being captured, and it cannot be interrupted because you will need to put this infantry on range and then interrupt with this one, which wouldn't be worth, and it could be very weird because you want to two-hit KO this infantry with these two infantry. Maybe you want to attack from the forest, but that's risky because you don't know if nothing enter into it. But anyways, guys, let's see, because I won. Okay, the tank was attacked by the artillery. I really like that instead of exposing your tank, because if your opponent is attacking your tank with a tank, you might expect that tank to be to have backup. So if you can kill that tank without exposing your own units, that's going to be a completely good trade for you, a positive trade for you. You lost half a tank for a full tank. Nice. Perfect. The problem is that I think on the mech play, Aces is gonna have the lead, but right now Aces really needs to do something here, because I don't like how it's going. On your weak side, yes, it's your weak side, whatever, you don't put too many resources on that, but please put a recon. Like, you need recons, and you are not getting vision anyways of the opponent. And as you can see, this 3 HP infantry that got harassed by the early recon of Aces now is doing work getting intel. Like, it's great because it's now giving away any chances of front switch by Aces or any sneaky lap. I do believe Aces. I do believe that this is gonna be the lap units being the big units are lap, in the sense that you will not be able to wheel fighters, stealths, or neo tanks, or bombers. I don't remember the details. I would put on the here the lap units, but it's gonna be coming into play, I believe. We see a slight leap by other, and it's gonna make it so mechs do a lot of movement, and oh, I really like that. I mean, it's quite aggressive, but you have 3 mechs prepared to counter any aggression, and artillery to cover that tank. So yeah, it's on the dubious part of things, but you have to be aggressive with other, that's for sure. And now this tank, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The problem here is, as you can see, because of the placement of the forest, you cannot use your slight leap extra movement to boost your reinforcement lines into this area, which is very annoying. And I think it's gonna matter, because now there is 1 infantry not covered by this tank, and Aira can calculate that if you count tiles. So very important, guys. Let's see how the formation of Aces finished here. This artillery was put on the forest. The reason for that is Aira doesn't know about it, And Aces knows that Ida doesn't know about it, because the only way Ida knows about this is with a recon here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's not very likely because it's a very weird spot for a recon. Recon normally would be closer to the front lines or on this forest. So it's very likely that this artillery was hidden, and now it's covering perfectly this tank and also making this artillery to run away from that area. The problem with that is that Aces is not gonna be able to use the power next turn, I believe, unless he does a lot of some sacking. But as you can see, in early fighting, the slight leap extra movement is very convenient to do more comfortably your formation. I'm gonna try to speed up a little bit the commenting, because it's not gonna be a super long match, but I don't want it to last over an hour. As you can see, I really like this T-copter to get vision. The problem is now you are not gonna be able to hit on this artillery, but you will be able. Oh yeah, the problem I had with that is that you first attack and then you get vision. That's a big mistake in the order of things. You first get vision and then you attack, but since you don't have the recon, you have to rely on a transport copter to get vision, which is quite vulnerable to copters. Copter one-shot them, anti-air one-shots them, and infantry or even tanks do a lot of damage against them. So you have to be very careful with it. And as you can see, because you have no recon, you were not able to kill this 1 HP infantry, which is very useful, even though it's just 1 HP. So yeah, I think Ida is lacking on the recon. He's trying to fix it now, but I think it will come one turn too late in order to make a difference. And Ida is getting aggressive on this area. He knows or he is expecting to have the superiority. The problem is that he's not supposed to have the superiority here. So getting aggressive here, yes, because of the state of the board, but no, because of the how the bases are working. But I think if you look at the amount of mechs that are here, you are quite safe to guess that Aces is going hard with mechs from this base into this area. And because of the extra defense by the power, Ida is not even with a very likely roll to get this tank killed, which is going to be very useful because now you can kill this copter with this anti-air for copter, always worth to do it. On standard and on global on fog, not in high funds, because there are bombers which are more threatening than copters. But anyways, I'm really curious how Ace is gonna do the counterattack. Good. That's why mechs suck, guys, because infantry can pick them up. Like if they were simply infantry. I don't agree with this attack. I would kill the unit instead of making this injure. The reason for that is if it was a tank on tank, yes, but this is one less unit for iron basically. And this is maybe too aggressive, but it's a nice shot. But this copter is gonna die most likely by another copter or by an anti-air, so a bit over aggressive. And I could simply one-shot this transport copter with my copter and leave this artillery here. Like, yes, it's gonna shoot my anti-air, but my anti-air did its job, so I would rather get rid of its transport copter and get a lead on the reinforcement lines for the long game, you know, guys. This is good, but just for the immediate rewards. And still, this anti-air can die next turn. No, so I would rather attack the transport copter. But instead, he opted to use 3 infantry, as I said previously that you can do that. Yeah, but you stop this cap in order to be able to kill this 1 HP infantry to get the kill on the transport copter. So yeah, and you start capping with a mech, which is not what a mech wants to do, because yeah, a mech wants to shoot and infantry wants. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not terrible, but I think you are first overextending into the strong side of Ira. Second, there is a superpower coming by Ira, and third, you are giving a lot of pressure away on this area, which is your strongest area, and you are not exploiting that fact. Also, you are lacking on the vision right now, because even though you have a lot of vision here, you are not having control of 1 infantry here with the vision, and neither here. So you need an infantry here and a recon here instead of this tank. Yeah, but I think it's fine. Not trying to attack infantry with your tank, very smart here. And double tank infantry. As you can see, this is gonna be the preferable base for wielding infantry if you really want to fight into this area. But I would normally do another planning. I could go, if I were other, I could go hard here and wheel vehicles from these 2 bases and use this base to wheel mechs and infantry and reinforce with my transport copter with those mechs and infantries from this base into this area. So now I have 2.5 bases attacking into this area and half base to use simply wall with my with maybe one artillery here and wall it, and you simply hold and maybe even retreat if I'm getting overwhelmed. But anyways, let's see, because now we see a block rock. It's not gonna be a very deadly wall block rock. As you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicles. Maybe this recon can shoot as well. It's not gonna do too much damage for being a Jake superpower, but I guess the situation demands it. And also, you can do a lot of damage to this anti-air and use the tanks to do something else more useful. The problem is that there is no tanks here, as you can see. There is only mechs, and wow, look super aggressive into this area. I believe this tank tried to go all the way around and got trapped into this forest. That's why it's not moving. Remember, if it gets trapped, it doesn't register and it will update in the next turn. So don't mind it, guys. One shot, boom, boom. Yeah. And this tank can attack into this anti-air. I mean, there is a mech here. You don't want to attack into this anti-air, because this anti-air is gonna still live and it's gonna be on whatever 3 HP, and it's gonna be able to do its job at driving away copters. So you don't want to sacrifice this tank because of damaging this anti-air. So I would rather use maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you cannot move through here. So I will use a state here, honestly. But let's see what Ira does. I don't like he's giving away this vision, even though yes, you have to repair whatever. This infantry is much more useful here, gaining vision, than trying to get repaired. But it is what it is. I think the biggest mistake of these players right now is the vision management. They are not doing a great job at it, and they are fighting hard on the ground side, because yeah, they are both going hard here on the opposite side. But let's see, because there is now the possibility of double slide leap by aces, and that can be a quite a strong answer to the super. But let's see. Max doing good job. Using the anti-air to weaken one tank, it's completely fine. If you have, I mean, you are covering with a mech, with more, so I think it's completely fine to do that. And it seems like this tank got trapped here, as you can see. It did try to attack from this part, but it got trapped by the infantry that was sitting here. That's a sign that you need more vision if you get trapped too often. And also the other tank that got trapped was here, this one. And let's see, because right now I'm liking more how is Aces playing. I don't like how he's managing this strong side, but he can turn this around very easily. But in order to do that smoothly, he needs to retreat on this area and start bringing more reinforcements here. But now what he's doing is he's trying to reinforce both areas and try to win on both areas, and I don't like that. You cannot win everywhere in Advanced Wars via weapon. You are overextending here, and you are trying also to push back an attack. Yes, you were able to kill the tank, but don't try to fight on both sides. Okay guys, remember, how do you box? Do you box like this or like this? So basically that's what I mean. But anyways, because now the recon is gonna help to hit KO that infantry. Now you start capping. Now the copter is locked here to interrupt this, and that's gonna be very annoying to do. And yeah, you can start this capture also and cover it with this artillery. And as soon as you bring a counter to this copter, this is a completely lost front unless Aces brings more reinforcements. But something tells me that he's gonna keep trying to fight hard here. I think the plan that I mentioned with the mech T-copter from this base and then vehicles from these two avant-garde going here for other is much more stronger than this plan. But let's see, because now the anti-air got destroyed, this artillery got destroyed, and now the recon is giving a lot of intel of the composition. So now you know that there is that you have, you know what is here, so you know what is not here, basically. And there is a copter change going on into this area. Both players are going hard. I'm gonna repeat this a lot, but I don't like them going hard here and here respectively. It's like, and wait. Aire didn't interrupt these captures. So now Other is ahead by 2k on income, and he's gonna try to interrupt these captures. And the recon gets picked up. This is very weird. Like, why are they going hard? Well, okay, I'm gonna try to... Okay, is Ace trying to front switch now? But, I mean, he has not gone farther. He has kind of consolidated this turn. So if we see a slow retreat by Aces this turn and trying to go hard here, I will like that a lot, because going hard momentarily into your weak side to take off guard your opponent and then going hard on your supposed better area, it can be quite strong if your opponent is not very good at management division. The problem is you are trading too hard whenever you have the unit count disadvantage because of the situation of the board. Other is gonna have another side leap next turn, but I don't see very useful to use it this turn. I would rather hold it and try to get a double CO power maybe in a couple of turns, but let's see what happens. 2-hit KO on that tank and start capping that property. I think this is fair, because this tank is sitting quite safe on this forest, and this is a free city, so I think this was fair to do. And I like this. Okay, start front switching into this area. I like it, because not only you are supposed to be stronger here eventually, but you are getting your com tower threatened, and I don't think you are close to threaten the enemy one. And as you can see, Aces joins in order to get more funds. I don't know what he's planning to purchase. See this copter used away from just out of the vision range of the recon. Very smart. Same with this copter, very smart, because now intel is everything. Now it's very important to not reveal where you are trying to go. But the problem is you need to be a bit more conservative into this area, in my opinion, because you are front switching here. So you need to be a bit more conservative, you know, because these units are gonna die if not. So I believe Aces joins this weakened tank with the other in order to get more tanks, and that's gonna help him because instead of having a tank that is getting repair, he's gonna be able to wheel 2 tanks and getting them used here. That is gonna be faster to get a full HP tank. Basically, it's tempo. It's the right choice in my opinion. And Ira keeps joining up in order to get this capture, which I think it's a big mistake, because it's not like you are countering the copters that are trying to interrupt the cap, so you are not gaining anything by it. Only you are losing stuff, you know, guys. You already lost 2 infantries by doing this. Yes, you are gonna you have 1 copter prepared to attack this copter, but now there is a lot of copters going on here, because this airport is much more closer to 3 turns away, 2 turns away from the fight you are doing with the copters. Both players are front switching to this area, it seems like, but let's see. No, Ira is just consolidating and trying to control the middle right now. And yeah, we are gonna see a side slip. I don't know. Okay, I don't agree with it. Not because you are not gonna do a lot of damage. I don't know about that, because neither Aces does. He popped his power without any vision. Look, he is not seeing any unit from area but this infantry. What's the point of that slide slip? It's very valuable to hold your slide slips as other, because you are the only CO that is going to be able to use the CO power without any sacking if you have the full meteor, because every time you use power they are 20% more expensive. But if you have 5 stars and you use your power 2 stars, then it's gonna cost 2 stars 0.4, which means you are gonna be able to use it right away in the next turn. And yeah, here I don't see how the Slight Leap is gonna do a lot of damage. This engagement was happening anyways. This engagement was not happening without a Slight Leap. This was not happening either. But you didn't know about those infantries being there. So you needed to get the vision first, and then you say, okay, it's worth to pop the Slight Leap here because X or W or whatever. But maybe the plan was to be aggressive on the com tower. But you are trying to be aggressive here while aggressive here. Okay guys, I have already said this many times. What you do when you are being aggressive on one front, you retreat on the other one. Because you cannot win on all fronts on Advanced Wars via web against a competent player. So yeah, wow, this tank, wow. This was a very ballsy tank in order to kill one infantry. And it's not like you are making this capture not happening. There is still one recon in place to interrupt. So I think this is a complete overstand by Ashes this turn. Not only he popped the premature CO power, but he overextended quite hard. But let's see if Ira is able to punish this overextension. Let's see. 2 tanks dead. This tank is gonna die to this 5 HP tank probably. Interrupt by the recon. 2 hit KO. Okay, he opts to kill the tank with the Forest one. I like this also because now this can get repaired. And if it gets killed by this tank, this is gonna be punished with this artillery and this tank, etc. But what I don't like by Ira is the too much artillery. If you want to go 2 or 3, it's fine, but 4 artillery is too much in my opinion. Even if you are Jake, you are not supposed to play Jake as grid. Jake is a tank CO. Jake loves to have as many tanks, recons and anti-air during his powers. And also copters are very useful because of the huge firepower that they get on planes. And if you manage to get in range of a full HP copter with no defense from planes with your copter, you are gonna one-shot. But instead he's going for the artillery, which can be very, very useful, but Jake is not an artillery CO. Not heavy artillery CO, and if we see more artillery, stop wielding artillery, please, I beg you. No, you want to spam tanks with Jake. You want to tank, artillery, and use these 2 extra movement and huge firepower on planes during superpower, and do a huge wipe on your supers. But anyways, anti-air is dead. Very important to attack from the breaches instead of the planes, and the reason for that is if you attack from the planes, these planes are gonna be then adjacent from your copter tile, and then another copter can one-shot you from that. If you attack from the bridge, there is no planes adjacent, so very important to do that when you play against Jake, to deny as much firepower as possible. But as you can see, Ashes is keeping being aggressive, but as you can see, there is no army left here. So why are you being aggressive into so many vehicles with 4 infantry and 1 mech? You have to retreat here and try to save as many of them, because they are gonna die, and now this run is gonna be run over and you are gonna lose all your properties. And that you gain. Instead, if you retreat, you might slow the push here better, you know, guys. I don't know what this copter is doing. This copter should go and try to reinforce these areas as soon as possible, instead of trying to sit around here, because one lonely copter without any vision is not gonna do anything. It's gonna die. But I don't know what is. It just seems like he's splitting his army. As you can see, Ishes should have been reinforcing these captures that are about to happen or are happening right now, instead of trying to bring tanks into this area, which is not gonna fix the problem of this from crumbling. You need to choose one side to fight. It's not like strong side, weak side. It's like, if you want to go strong in your weak side, whatever, but you have to, you cannot attack everywhere and have your army everywhere. It's not death balling. What I mean is, at least in range of reinforcement or counter-attacking whatever you get attacked. You know, guys, it's like monkeys strong together, you know. If this tank is in range of this copter, then if this copter gets attacked by anti-air, you can answer that. But they are clearly not death balling. That's what I mean. Anyways, I'm being very insistent on that, but it's very important thing. We see a superpower by Jake, the second one. This 5 HP tank, in order to get vision. Why do you do that? You have a recon here. Put the recon on the lap and you might get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more vision than this 3 HP tank. This 3 HP tank, I mean, yeah, you kill this infantry while getting vision, but if you wanted vision around this area, put I don't know. I don't like sacking. What is this? What is this? Why are you? What is happening? Okay, this is the weirdest. Okay. I don't like this super by Ira. I don't like it at all. Let's see how Aces counter it. Because yeah. Boom, vision, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's why I didn't like it, because you are completely exposing your army, knowing that there is tanks nearby, copters nearby, and Isis can very easily go hard in the middle now. And Isis has the upper hand now, because Area is gonna... It's like 4 or 5 turns away from his super, maybe 6. So I think Isis is gonna be winning because of this terrible turn by Area. Let's see how it goes. But Area is falling farther behind on income, and Isis is copying this, which cannot be interrupted. So yeah, it's not looking good for Area. He gets a couple of kills here, but they are not gonna be enough, in my opinion. As you can see, 2-hit KO. So remember what I said about units being lapped? Right now Aces is on the perfect spot to wheel a Neo tank, to capitalize on this income advantage, because now if Aces wheels a Neo tank, Area is nowhere in position to wheel another Neo tank, and even if they wheel a medium tank, that medium tank is never gonna be enough by itself to counter the Neo tank, even on first strike. Unless it's on roads versus city first strike, that's not be enough. But anyways, I like that now Aces is trying to fight more in the middle-ish part of the map. I don't know how is the KDA looking. It's quite even for both players, 35 against 34. And the unit count is also quite even. Aces is slightly is ahead, but not by much. And this is why I don't like artillery, because this artillery now where it can go in order to help this fight, it can go anywhere. It's gonna be exposed wherever you put it, wherever it is gonna be useful. So that's why I don't like artillery, because it's not as versatile. I mean, I did say that phrase wrong. That's why I don't like wielding too many artillery. There is always space for at least one artillery, always. But 5, 6 artillery? No guys, this is a trap. Don't wield so many artilleries with Jake. 2, 3, whatever. 5, 6, 7? No. Guys, no. That's a big no-no. I like this. This is very good. Although Aces is smartly putting this infantry used in range of these cities. Even this city, and there is also a recon, because other can rely on the power being popped. But as you can see, I think the middle fight is gonna crumble. And this artillery, yes, is covering this anti-air, this tank, but it has no wall. So, and you know about it, and it's other, you can kill this 3 HP infantry with this one, and then the mech, boom. And now you are sucking a 3k value unit for one that is double, you know. But anyways guys, let's see, because this is getting a long replay commentary. Slide leap, and yep, I guessed right, okay. Copters getting rid of anti-air, you love to see it. Oh my god. Yep. This is the perfect picture of why you should not spam artillery, and if you do so, you should not play like this. Right now, as you can see, Aces has the tank superiority, and he's being aggressive everywhere because he knows his opponent is being very heavy on artillery, so he can do that. He's allowed to do that because of the intel that he has. But normally you don't want to be so aggressive in all fronts, but right now he knows he's winning. He knows his opponent is going heavy on artillery. He knows his opponent is behind on income. So now being overly aggressive, there is an argument for doing that. Because he knows his opponent has the main army in the middle, he can afford to go here and capitalize on these captures, and this might end on a capture limit by day, in a couple of days. Day 22, mechs. That's why mechs are very hard to use, because now infantry take them like that. But this mech was a worth mech, don't get me wrong, but just want to point out why mechs are very hard to use. They lose against all units basically, even against artillery, because they cannot move through artillery range without getting shot. So even losing against artillery is very bad. There is a middle turn super by Jake, which is something I don't like too much to do whenever I'm Jake. And there is a fighter, and I guess the fighter was expecting a bomber by Aces. The problem is that units are lapped, bombers, neo tanks and stealths, so there is no bomber coming, but this was a preemptive fighter and it could have been very good, because Aces was trying to wheel a bomber maybe. And if you look at now the income advantage, this is one ticket. If you don't do something about this income difference right now, you are losing. You cannot even afford to wheel double tank infantry on 3 bases map, and that's a dead sentence. Did Asia's base skip this turn? No, okay, it was this mech going here. Yeah, what Aces needs to do right now without overextending is taking as many trades as possible, because he can afford to wheel 3 vehicles every turn, and his opponent cannot afford to wheel even 2 every turn. So as long as he has slightly bad trades, he's gonna come on top of his opponent just because of the huge income advantage. Okay, fighter taking now a copter, which is completely fine. And fighters are very good because they are not one-shot by anti-airs. Trying to get a desperate capture here, which is not gonna happen because of this copter, but you have to try it. Even better, one-shot the transport copter and interrupting with the weaken copter. Getting even more aggressive into this area. I could honestly bring an artillery here and start threatening the HQ, so my opponent is forced to fight here, and if he doesn't, he's gonna get HQ cap. And while moving all his army here, he's not gonna be able to try to recapture this. But yeah. As you can see, we might see this fighter getting trapped by infantry. And yes, we do. Very beautiful. And I mean, you can kill this infantry and make the fighter go away, but that's still resources being wasted to kill one infantry instead of killing mechs and tanks. And we see a fighter to counter the fighter. Very nice. But as you can see now, the income advantage is not gonna be changed anytime soon. The unit count is very unfavorable for area. I don't see how he's coming back from this. And he resigned. Yeah, I was expecting that. GG's for both players. Thank you for sending me this replay. It was quite interesting to expect. And yeah, I do agree with Math Blitz, which did a commentary on Discord about this match, which was basically both players fighting in the wrong side. They should have been going hard either here and area here. Area was kinda going hard here, but he was getting too aggressive into this area and then got crashed whenever Aces tried to simply start reinforcing here. But yeah, anyways guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. I will be covering the Smacky Cup, my matches, whenever I finish them. I'm currently training, having some sparring matches in the first map. I hope I pass the first round. I don't know, maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe I get against a very strong player, maybe I don't get as a strong player, who knows. Also, I'm waiting for Green Guy to finish one of his matches, and I will covering that match as well, so stay tuned for that, and cheers guys, thank you for watching. Excuse me for this very long replay commentary over 1 hour. I tried to make it a bit shorter, but it is what it is. Sometimes it is. Bye bye guys, bye bye.